Hi, this is a general reading. It's a timeless reading. So I've already shuffled all the cards, all the decks that I'm using, and I've spread them here. This card is where you are now, the challenge you face, the resources you can use. This card represents the hidden forces, and this is the potential outcome. Now from the runes, I will take one to give us a better understanding of what the spiritual lesson is in the current situation. Alright. So what's interesting here right away is that we have the Knight of Wands twice in the reading. Once in the reverse and once in the upright position. And there, you can see how they're falling here in the spread head to head. So my first message that I'm getting from this spread is that there could be some kind of tension between you and another person. You could be head to head with someone. There might be a fight or an argument or some kind of battle going on between you and another person. If it's not another person, this is within yourself, because the Knight of Wands is reflected here. So it could just be your own energy that you're battling with. You might be feeling very conflicted about something. You might be feeling confused or unsure. You might have an internal battle. Maybe you are second guessing yourself. Maybe you feel blocked creatively or financially. There might be some kind of unwell or dis-ease, or maybe not. It could be a physical thing. There might be some kind of illness or some kind of physical manifestation of this internal battle. Let's move on from that, because I feel like we probably will come back around and get more insight on that. But that's my first, my first take on this spread, on these cards. So the second card here in this position is, what is the challenge you face? And in your reading here, you have the Queen of Swords in reverse. So first insight on that is there's communication issues. There could be communication issues. There could be no communication at all. There could be a standoff here. Maybe these two people are at odds with each other, and part of the issue or the problem is that there's no communication. So this energy is not moving anywhere. It's kind of like a roadblock with these two people at odds. The Queen of Swords reverse could also be describing your own stubborn-headedness or your own internal lack of clarity, right? You might be confused, and that could be the challenge you use. Like your confusion or your lack of clarity is preventing you from seeing the situation as it actually really is, and that in itself is very challenging. It could also be here that the Queen of Swords in reverse is representing you being your own enemy, and in doing so you are preventing yourself from having the clarity that's actually right in front of you. In other words, you're fooling yourself, you're kidding yourself, you are maybe being dishonest to yourself or with yourself. You might be telling yourself things that aren't necessarily true or honest because you want to be right. Maybe some of you might be wanting to be right about a situation where maybe you're not right, and your inability to be honest with yourself about the situation is preventing this lack of movement to be in place. So this could be, the message here is, I think, time to get real. Time to get real with yourself and to get real with the situation and be honest about what's actually really happening. I think it's also saying here this is a time for you to be a little bit more self-aware. This could also be in another scenario here. What I could see is if there is two people here that are at odds with each other or in having some kind of conflict, it could be because of something that you've said to them. It could be that you have said something very cold, very cutting, very critical, very hurtful to someone, and that might be causing this strife or this imbalance or this head-to-head standoff. All right, let's move on. Here in this position, in the third card of the reading, we have what resources you can use. And we have here the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. In the upright, it looks like this. So how I'm going to interpret this card in this reading is that you need to take back something. You see how in this position the hand is giving. In the reverse here, I feel like it's saying here that you should take something back. Now, interpret that as you will according to your own situation, but the main energy I'm getting here is that you need to take back something that you've said, or take back, maybe not something that you've said, but take back an idea or an opinion. That could be one of the ways that you might be able to resolve the situation and have things start to actually go forward again. I feel like in order to go forward, you might need to take a step back and reconsider something that you've held. Maybe reconsider your position on something. Reconsider your opinion about something. Reconsider your attitude about something. That's what I'm getting here from this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Just seeing if there's anything more there I can say about that. In some ways, this Ace of Pentacles might be talking about you withdrawing your energy from a situation or a relationship. That could also be the energy here. You might have, part of the reason why there might be this disparity here or this conflict or this battle is that there's been an imbalance of energy. So there maybe hasn't been a correct proportion of reciprocity here in the situation. And so your message here, or the guidance about the action you should take, because this card is about the resources you can use, right? And so sometimes I interpret that as what action you can take. And so yeah, I'm feeling here that you might just need to withdraw your physical energy from someone or something, a situation. It could be, if this is not a relationship, this could be a project, a project or an enterprise. It could be an investment with the Ace of Pentacles reverse. This might be saying like maybe you're not going to go as far as you thought was possible initially in an investment or in an opportunity. And this might just be the moment where it's time for you to get real about that and just maybe accept that there has been a failure, or accept that there's been something that you're involved with might be unable to come to fruition. And maybe the best solution here is for you to just acknowledge that, accept that, and withdraw, rather than maybe continuing to try to press forward, because it doesn't seem like it's going forward. Now let's move on. So this card here, even though I've already been speaking about it quite a lot in the reading, I will give a different interpretation now. So the Knight of Wands in this position of the spread is about the hidden forces. So hidden forces in this environment, in this reading, could be a person. It could be something in your subconscious mind. It could be an event or a situation that's outside of your peripheral vision that you're not actually able to perceive. So with the Knight of Wands here in this position, a different interpretation I would give now than the one I gave earlier is that there could be a person or an event that is helping to shift and catalyze the situation, and you maybe are not totally aware of it or able to perceive it. But I'm actually feeling this energy as a very supportive and helpful energy. So in other words, I'm feeling that there could be something coming in that you are maybe not yet aware of. Everyone's going to be on a different timeline here, so people watching this reading Some people might have had this already happen, some people might not. So it could be that there's a person coming in who is supportive, someone whose energy is going to completely catalyze and shift the energy of a situation that you're in that may have been until now kind of challenging or stuck or fixed. So that's good news. That feels like a really beneficial, very benefic energy that's coming in to your environment that you haven't necessarily yet perceived. Now, this card in this position of the reading is what is the potential outcome. You have the Strength card. This is the Voyager deck if you're interested. It's one of my favorites. Collage style. So you have the Strength card here in this position. Potential outcome is the Strength card. It's an interesting one because, I mean, the Strength card here could talk about many, many different things. But in this reading, I feel like the first message I'm getting, the first interpretation I would give here is that you've been in a very difficult and challenging situation, maybe for quite some time. And it has maybe been there maybe has been a lack of understanding on your part of like, why have you been in this so long? Why has it been so challenging? What have you been contributing to make that situation be so extended and so drawn out and so long to resolve? But having the Strength card here in this position is kind of just letting me know that regardless of whatever reasons that situation took as long as it did, it's helped you grow a lot. And it's been incredibly formative in lots of good ways. So it doesn't really matter that it's taken a long time. It doesn't matter. You've learned a lot, you've grown a lot, you've developed a lot. Your instincts have become honed, your courage has been really put into practice. It has developed you in ways that you may not even be able to perceive until some quite distant future. So it doesn't matter how long something took or how challenging something was. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. It's not about that. This is just about you realizing that you've learned a lot, you've grown a lot, and you've developed a lot. It has been a challenging time, but you are now much stronger for it. And I'm hearing the word survival now. So I feel like maybe for some of you, this is maybe your entry point or portal into a new time of life where you won't be so much in survival mode because you've come through something really tough here, and maybe it's cultivated in you a totally different mindset, a completely different way of looking at the world. And that is like a higher octave of you just being in survival mode and trying to just get by so that you can, pay your bills and get through life and whatever. But I mean, that's a very mundane interpretation here, but there's something much more deep going on. This is very esoteric energy, actually, the Strength card. It can be descriptive of very mundane life things, but it's an incredibly esoteric and very mystical energy, the Strength card. So there's a lot of deep learning here. There's a lot of growth and development. So let's take a look at this rune now and see if we can tie it all together and get some insight. So this rune is in the reverse position. Normally in the upright it would look like this. So in your reading, in the reverse, this one is called Tiwaz. And in the upright position, this represents leadership, authority, honor, and it's about analysis and rationality. It's about knowing. It's about where your true strengths lie, actually. So there it is already. It's tying back into the reading straight away with the strength. It's also talking about here, because you have it in the reverse position, I'm just going to read the interpretation for you so you can hear it from the text. It says, Tiwaz reversed. One's energy and creative flow are blocked. Mental paralysis, over-analysis, over-sacrifice, injustice, imbalance, strife, war, conflict. I said all that in the beginning of the reading. Failure in competition. Failure we talked about as well. Dwindling passion, difficulties in communication. Pretty much every card in this reading has just been described in this one rune. That's why I love using the runes in these readings for you guys. So I got distracted. I'm going to read it again. Tiwaz reversed. One's energy and creative flow are blocked. Mental paralysis, over-analysis, over-sacrifice, injustice, imbalance, strife, war, conflict, failure in competition, dwindling passion, difficulties in communication, and possibly separation. So those are all the things you've been learning about. And I think in this reading, I would say that the Strength card is actually the spiritual lesson here. And the rune that I've just read out there maybe describes the situation that you're actually coming out of now. That's what I feel. I do feel like this reading feels like a portal into a new beginning where you have kind of elevated above and beyond as a result of complex, intricate, and complicated, difficult experiences from the last whatever cycle you've been in. So here's to the next cycle for you. Let's see if there's anything else here I can pull up. For some of you, you might be surprised now, actually, moving forward from here, how you actually are able to perceive or feel aware that you're in a different time now. You're in a different energy in your own being. You know, that's what it feels like to me with this Strength card coming out after all this, you know, conflict and strife and difficult communications and failure and waste of time and like a feeling of loss of energy. You coming out with this energy of the Strength feels like a victory. It feels like a victory. There's definitely a feeling here of like a win, even though it might not look like that in terms of your actual events and experiences. But this is about, like I said, this is a very esoteric, mystical energy. This is about your soul, your fundamental blueprint. Your energy has shifted into a new space where you're operating from a different space. I want to take now the deck, the Prophecies deck from Naomi Samara. This is the Prophecies Volume 2. And just to get one card here for like an overall energy or a little oracle message for everyone to close up this reading. Just going to take one off the top, I think. Let's take this one. We have Ignite. Alright, I'm going to read from the little booklet here. Ignite. Inspiration, new ideas, action, influence. This card illustrates a fiery apparition symbolizing an ignition of something new. I like that. Two figures link arms and spark what appears to be flames that create a dragon-like face. The feature created by the fire stares directly at the querent. Its expression is one of determination and ferocity. Three suns adorn the center of the composition, further emphasizing an energetic and surgent impulse to manifest. The fire is contained by the two figures, one light and the other dark, further insinuating the need for balance to generate and harness the flame. Musings. What ideas, stories, and moments have inspired you lately? Have you encountered an inspired thought repeatedly throughout the day? This card encourages you to take the next step in concretizing those ideas. It invites you to channel the inner determination and fire to progress from the immaterial to the physical. In social circumstances, this card depicts a way of influencing and leadership. A certain ability to speak, to spark excitement and motivate others. Alright guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed that. I've definitely enjoyed giving this reading. And let me know in the comments if you like this reading, if you enjoyed it, if you'd like to see me do these more often. I would really appreciate your feedback because it helps me to know that this energy is going somewhere useful. Alright, thanks guys. Lots of love. See you next time.